Hey friends, welcome to part 65. We'll look at some more questions today. If you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with Azure, Google Cloud, AWS Cloud certifications. So this question is talking about several microservices. You are building an application using microservices. Microservices means a lot of small components. They talk to each other using API calls. And here they are telling that we want to use container technology. In AWS, if you want to use container technology, then you have ECS, Elastic Container Service. Okay. So this is secure, reliable, and so on. They are also telling that you need to minimize the maintenance efforts. The first thing we'll make use of is ECS cluster. Now we have to choose two options, two answers. So we will look at some more options. So we will not use Kubernetes on EC2 instance because ECS is the right service. One of the goal of the certification is that whether you understand what service to be used when. Okay, they are not interested how intelligent you are and how you can create a custom solution. They are not interested in that. C says that we will deploy ECS service with EC2 launch type. See, you have to deploy it with a Fargate launch type. Why? Because Fargate launch type helps you with lowest ongoing maintenance and scaling, and you also don't want to manage the infrastructure, additional infrastructure. So Fargate launch type is best for that. It is serverless. You can pay as you go for the compute engine, and when you choose Fargate, you don't manage the EC2 infrastructure. This is one of the most important things because our question here says you cannot manage additional infrastructure. This is exactly what Fargate does for you. So this would be our answer. And option E, you use Kubernetes worker nodes on EC2 instances. Again, this is a customized solution. We have ECS, so why will we use Kubernetes nodes on EC2 instances? So our final answers are options A and D. We will make use of ECS cluster first. The second is, since we are making use of ECS and you don't want to manage additional infrastructure, we will make use of Fargate launch type. See, there is a lot of EC2 instances, around 10 EC2 instances. This way, there are 10 EC2 instances, and your application, which is a web application, it sits on top of it. But they are also making use of Route 53, which is a very cost-effective way to route end users to internet applications. Mind you, here in this question, they are not making use of load balancers. They are making use of Route 53 for routing the users. Okay, so if they have made use of Route 53, now, what is the problem? They are getting timeout error again and again, timeout error. And when they do some troubleshooting, they find out. See, in your company, whenever you get error, somebody has to do the troubleshooting. When they do troubleshooting, they come to know that some DNS queries return IP addresses of unhealthy instances. That means in this Route 53, it is routing to unhealthy instances. Like when you have Route 53 here and here you have all EC2 instances, you see this endpoint instances you have, so it is routing to unhealthy instances. If there are 10 EC2 instances and 2 are unhealthy, the router should come to know that I don't have to send the work here. Okay, suppose you have a 10-member team and 2 members are sick, but if the team lead still assigns tasks to those 2 members who are sick, then the task will not get done, and obviously the work will not happen. So like I told that these guys are not making use of any of the load balancers. So my take here is we should first add a load balancer because Route 53 does not come to do, or it does not do health checks. A load balancer do health checks. So if load balancers they if they do the health checks, then you put a load balancer in front of EC2 instances and then route to the ALB in Route 53. This is the ideal answer because load balancer they are well versed with how to do the health checks. This is a service which whose primary job is to monitor the health of registered targets. Targets means EC2 instances, and then it will route traffic only to healthy targets. This is absolutely required in this question because you are getting error because the routing of if Route 53 routes it to unhealthy instances because it does not check if instances are healthy or unhealthy. See, when we talk about simple routing in Route 53, you configure standard DNS with no special Route 53 routing like wait or etc. Like based on what it will be routing. With simple routing, you typically route traffic to single resource, for example, to a web server. But in our case, we cannot use it. We have 10 resources, 10 EC2 instances. So we cannot make use of simple routing policy here. So this is wrong for us. See, failover routing means whenever the failure happens, so the routing happens to unhealthy instances, and then what happens is this guy says, hey boss, I'm sick. Then it says, okay, since I am failover routing, let me route it to another instance. Then it again routes it to another instance. That guy is again saying, boss, I am sick, don't come here. Then again failover routing says, okay, what about you? The other guy says, hey, I am not sick, I can take this workload. So that is failover. So when you are trying to give a solution, give the solution which works one shot, not the first time itself. Failover routing will not work first shot. You can still get this timeout error because by the time it checks, okay, this guy is unhealthy, and still something, I mean, see, you need a direct solution. You don't need a failover solution. This is a failover solution just to make sure that if you do not have ALB for some reasons, for cost and etc., and your application is not so critical that you are complaining about the timeout error, then you can use it. Otherwise not. C says we will make use of CloudFront distribution when you are using OTT applications like Netflix, and that is the case when you should make use of CloudFront. It is called content delivery network because you need, as usual, when you are watching Netflix and if it is slow in downloading, would you watch it? No, you would not watch it. You would move to next because your dopamine is not getting satisfied. No, you want a dopamine burst, man, because the current generation is used to dopamine burst. So that will be happening through low latency and high transfer speeds. That is a real application of CloudFront. CloudFront will not check if your instances are healthy or not. CloudFront will not check if your instances are healthy or not. So our answer is option D. We will create a application load balancer with health check in front of the EC2 instances. We will route to ALB from route 53. Okay, next question. See, you have a highly available environment. Highly available means anything bad happens, the application will not go down. It is highly available. You know, in your team, some people must be there that even if they are slightly sick, they still come to office and they work, and you can rely on them from, you can trust and rely from a delivery perspective. But then they also spread their disease everywhere. So you have this application, and what it contains of this application has a lot of things. It has a web application, it has database, and then HTTPS content delivery should be as close to the edge as possible with least delivery time. So which solution meets the requirement with high security? See, high security is very important for them. Feasibility of the solution is important, and high security is important. See, one thing you will see, for highly available applications, all options have multiple redundant instances. Okay, this is there in all options. The only difference is some are public, some are private. Some are public, some are private. What to do? Since we are talking about HTTPS, we will choose option with private subnets. So anything with public, process out. Anything with public subnet, process out. Okay. So now we have to choose between options B and C. So let us check. See, option B is wrong because see what they are telling. They are putting EC2 instance in private subnet, and then they will configure CloudFront to deliver HTTPS. No wrong, nothing is wrong here. But they will use EC2 instance as the origin. See, ALB should be the origin. The load balancer should be the origin, because you have to fulfill this requirement. HTTPS content delivery should be as close to the edge. So ALB is closer than EC2. That is why option B is wrong and option C is correct here. We will use ALB as the origin here. So if you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with Azure, AWS, Google Cloud certification. Become a Cloud Kernel or Cloud Ninja member. Access all these private questions also. Okay. This brings us to end of part 65. We will post more parts.